Hello, and welcome to the Nebraska Department of Education School Safety video series. Today's topic is School Safety, It Begins with Us. Other topics in this video series include the climate connection, school climate data in action, the behavior bond, links to mental health, optimization of youth voice, and school safety and student success. These video vignettes are anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes in length and can be watched by school staff members as individuals or by school teams. Also, these video vignettes can be watched in order or non-sequentially, dependent on school needs. My name is Heather Robbins, and I'll be your guide throughout this video series. Today's topic: School safety, it begins with us. We hope that by the end of our short time together, you've reviewed some national data regarding school connectedness with a peek at a piece of data from Nebraska, that you've focused on adult behavior, the words and actions we can engage in on our campus that help create a safe school, and that you've considered what you know about staff-student connectedness on your campus. So let's first unlock some national data. This data comes from the Qualia Institute, the My Voice survey, which was administered in 2016 to 48,185 students in grades 6 through 12 across 249 schools, 14 states. Here are some of the things that students said. 64% of students said school is a welcoming and friendly place. 52% of students said teachers make an effort to get to know me. 43% said teachers care about my feelings and problems. 53% said teachers care about me as an individual. 58% said teachers respect students. And 46% said teachers care if I am absent from school. Now, if we take a peek at one of these indicators and some Nebraska data, we see that over 6,000 students that were surveyed said teachers care about me as an individual. 84% of them, 83.8%, said teachers care about me as an individual. I want you to consider that number. While it looks better than the national data, appears better than the national data, still tells us that 16 students out of 100 students on our campuses don't feel like they have a teacher that cares about them as an individual. And if we had a large campus of 1,000 students, that's 160 students. So when you see this data on this screen, take another look. I want you to think in your mind, what's one word that comes to mind? So take a moment and reflect. What's a one-word summary you would give? If you're an individual, maybe you just want to write your word down. If you're with a team, maybe you all want to think of your word, then you want to pause the video for a moment and share the words that you had. When I've done this with other staff members, some words that have come up sometimes are worried, concerned, unsatisfied. Like those numbers to look higher, unsatisfied. Other times people will also say words like motivated to change that. Or curious, what would that look like on our campus? What would those numbers with those questions look like on our campus, and do we know? These are all things for you to be considering. So now let's talk about the words and actions we can engage in that can help us improve school safety. Close relationships to teachers and peers in primary school predicts a positive transition into secondary school. Connectedness improves that tough transition from 8th grade to 9th grade, from middle school to secondary school. Students describe their most effective teachers as the ones who took the time and made the effort to build relationships with them. We're models all the time on our campus. We must consider how we talk about our colleagues, our school, our students, our community, our stakeholders. How do we speak? about all of those? How do we interact with students, staff, parents? How do we manage our own strong emotions? If we're models all the time, how do we deal with and cope with frustration, annoyance, anger? How do we manage strong emotions if we're the models for students? We're all models all the time on our campuses, and our words and actions matter. Tone also matters. These words on the screen have very different meanings dependent upon tone. I could say, really? Or really? Excuse me? Excuse me. What did you say? What did you say? Hey, you. Hey, you. Well, what a surprise. Well, what a surprise. Tone, words, actions matter in terms of our connectedness with students. We want to try to use positive language. So here are some things that we can say that can replace maybe some of the way we used to say things. So instead of telling students what not to do, we can use the phrase, remember to. Remember to put your chairs in. It's time to. Tell 3 ways that we can. I'll be with you in a moment. Let's see if we can come up with a plan. All of these are positive language, and they're focused on connectedness and relationships. Our body language matters just as much as our words and tone. We make subtle and give subtle messages with our body language. Consider that. Look at the pictures on the screen and consider the subtle messages that are being implied. Our words and actions should demonstrate genuine care and concern for students as people. Students want to be known as individuals, as people, and they want to know that we know about them. We need to know who they are, what their interests are. We need to be supportive of them. We need to listen. Probably one of the best skills that we can enhance is to become strong listeners and to express genuine care and concern and to be there for students on our campuses. High levels of school attachment and connectedness are positively associated with student perceptions of safety. So the more that we're connected, the more we express that genuine care and concern for students, the higher the level of safety on our campus. So we're continually in this video series trying to demonstrate the links between school safety and all the other topics. And often we come right here to connectedness. Connectedness is a huge buffer and protects the protective factor and increases the level of safety on our campuses. When we have connectedness with students, we've built trust. And when we have trust, we can break down the code of silence. If students trust us as adults, they'll tell us when they have a problem, when there's a stressor, when they have a concern, even if it's about another individual on campus, they'll trust us enough to tell us about that. School safety begins with us, first and foremost, our words, our actions, our connectedness to students. So we would ask you to consider this. Do the words and actions of the adults all the adults on your campus express genuine care and concern for every single student? And how do you know? How would you know that? Also, how do you know every single student, all 100%, are connected to at least one adult on your campus? What measure do you have of that? What strategies have you employed to ensure that that is the case? We need 100% of students to be connected to at least one adult, and we hope that they could be connected to more. So in our short time together, We hope that you've had a chance to review some national data regarding school connectedness and reflect on it, as well as that little bit of Nebraska data. That you've focused on adult behavior, our words and actions that help us create a safe school, and that you've considered what you know about staff-student connectedness on your campus. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the next School Safety Video Series Vignette.